Here's a story.
Mhm.
My audio was actually my backup audio this last time.
Yeah,
on
didn't go
the
well?
published show. It did. Okay, so I've got the Zoom thing. It's a
Yeah.
little, physical device, right?
Right.
And now I'm not sure if my SD card is dying or if apparently the batteries were just barely hanging on. Like the thing wouldn't turn on, but it was enough juice to keep the time,
Mm.
you know? So I don't know exactly what's going on there, but when I brought it in, I imported the audio, got it all set up in Kden Live. I realized that there were like these little snippets of like a second or so that were just missing. And it was hard to catch because like it just showed up because it was happening during silence. It just showed up as like, oh, now I'm off.
Oh,
like,
so
by
they
a
skipped
little
a
bit,
beat
by
even.
a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the data wasn't actually written to the SD card because I go
was it
all
just
the way
silence?
back.
It was just nothing.
Yeah. Like it wasn't written. And so I go back to the source, and it turns out that, the audio file on the SD card is actually missing those little bits. And I finally caught it maybe like 20 minutes in where like I was talking and it like a word was missing. I'm like, uh-oh, okay, so we really are missing data. Well, anyway, I did some tests and things seem okay.
What did you end up using for your backup?
The OBS. So,
Okay.
So I learned that the OBS is a little hot. So it will, it wasn't like full on clipping.
You used my OBS or yours?
Mine.
Okay.
So I've my backup.
So
I
at
have
least
a
it was
backup
local.
of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this video here and this audio because it's got USB out and XLR out. So I'm doing split.
Right.
So the quality was good, but it was a little hot. So it was clipping.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't hear the real hard clip, but you would hear like a little tick at the top of some stuff. And I'm like, oh no, that's not good. But it was more than listenable. So
yeah.
We haven't got any feedback saying, hey, your audio sucked. So I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Coming up in this episode, Neocities went bing bang boom. Discord says open up and say ah. And KDE snaps said snap. Hello and welcome to Linux User Space. I am Dan.
And I am Leo.
So, Leo, down the memory lane, you can remember GeoCities, right? So,
my favorite place to be.
This is Neocities, and they had a little kerfuffle, I guess, with the Microsoft Corporation.
Yeah. So before we get into the whole why Microsoft messed this entire 1.5 million websites up, I want to take you down memory lane just a little bit because this is formative years for me here. So GeoCities, back in the day, this is before Yahoo bought them and ruined the entire thing, was a place that you could go to get yourself a little tiny slice of the internet that was all your own. You could put whatever you wanted to on it. It could just be your thoughts. It could be an entire website. This is where you could be to learn JavaScript, which is where a lot of us went and learned all kinds of web everything, anything on whatever. Because they let you, and again, this is kind of when the web was a little more Wild Westy, right? Where you just had an open palette. Like if you could code it, you could do it in GeoCities. And so maybe GeoCities wasn't your thing, but MySpace was in the same era, allowing you to do the same thing. And my favorite, one of my favorite things from this era is like, whether you went on MySpace or GeoCities, it was very similar. You would go to the website, and my favorite thing would be like, you would get like this custom mouse cursor, and it would be like
yeah.
shimmering. It was like lights and fancy lasers and everything. And then every time you moved your mouse, there would be like lasers trailed behind it. And then you would click and like explosions would happen. Like,
yeah, they always had
was-
like counters and, like marquee scrolly things and buttons all over the place.
Oh man, and a guest book that you had to sign. Everybody was encouraged to sign a
Absolutely.
guest book. This was like early comments in like what you would see today in like Twitter or Threads or Mastodon or something like that. Like people would say, "Hey, I was here," and then leave a comment about your website or just to say something totally off the wall.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like GeoCities was really, before MySpace, was really like the very first time I
it
can
was.
remember like social media was a thing. But
Yeah.
then other websites came in and over and over. But all that to say, GeoCities is one of my favorite things from back in the day, and Neocities is a
Successor?
a spiritual successor to GeoCities. There was no real ties, but obviously in the name,
No, but
it's
yeah.
hearkening back to
Well,
GeoCities.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but anyway, it's the same idea. You can go to Neocities and you can spin up your own little slice of the web. You can do all kinds of fun stuff on it, and it's
And you don't have
it's
to worry about
not-
any of the web hosting or any of that stuff, right? Because
Right.
they give you, you go create your page and whatnot, and they handle all the hosting stuff on the back end.
right. And you've got upload limits and things like that. But if you can fit
Sure.
whatever code or whatever you're trying to do inside those limits, ooh boy, let me tell you, you can do whatever you want to just about on these websites, except for what Microsoft and Bing decides that you can't do.
You can't even search for it.
Right. But it's just that they won't tell you what that is. Like there are policies that you need to follow to not be delisted from Bing. But when the owner of Neocities asked Microsoft, "Hey, y'all delisted me. What happened? What do I do about this?"
Yeah, how do I get back on? Yeah.
Yeah, just a circle of AI chatbot after AI chatbot after AI chatbot for weeks. And being
Way too
delisted from Bing is probably not as bad as being delisted from Google, but
Still not good. I mean, that's
yeah.
number 2.
Yeah, so and I mean, so you're still taking a hit in the searchability of all the people that you host. All their websites are not searchable on Bing. So that's
Right.
essentially what happened, right? Some policy was broken. Microsoft and Bing decided you need to be delisted. The owner of Neocities asks, "What do I do to fix this?" And nothing. Dark. A black hole.
Yeah,
Stuck for
crickets.
weeks.
Yeah.
Unsearchable. Searchable on Google, but not searchable on anything Bing or Bing related, which means that you weren't even searchable on DuckDuckGo or
Right.
I forget what other search engines use Bing. But if you used Bing,
Like you can force other search engines in DuckDuckGo, but by default it uses Bing.
right? Well, you got to use the Bang things, and then it's like
The
you're no
Bang
longer
things, yeah.
at DuckDuckGo anymore, right? Isn't that right?
No. It's kind of like, circumventing. But like by default, if you don't do any bangs, it just searches, Bing. It uses Bing search results. Anonymously, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. But we're talking 1.5 million sites delisted off of Bing for
That's a lot.
what turns out to be a whole lot of nothing. At least that's what
Yeah.
we're led to believe when we read the Ars Technica. So
You want my guess on that? It was AI.
you know it was. You know it was, Dan. It's always some kind of automated, opaque process that makes no sense when you
Yeah.
actually let humans into the process. And what happened? Ars wrote an article about this because 1.5 million sites being blipped off the internet search engines is actually kind of a big deal. So Ars wrote a thing about it,
Substantial.
reached out to Microsoft, and well, wouldn't you know it, someone from Microsoft was like, "Oh, Ars Technica, a big news organization, is knocking at our door. Maybe we should
Magic.
answer." Yeah, magically answer. And within a few hours, got back to ours with an answer and said, oh, whoops, our bad. That's whoops, uh-oh. And then now we're all back. We're listed again. Everything is totally cool. No reason. We don't know why. They broke policies. That's
nothing to see
what
here.
Microsoft
Move
said.
on.
Yeah. They said there was a policy problem. That's why we delisted them. And ours said,
sure there was.
Policy problem? What problem was that? And Microsoft said, you're welcome. And that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
it's pretty
Microsoft?
Accurate.
But no, Dan, I think you're right. Of course it was an automated process that got lost in the sauce because Neocities is not nearly big enough to get the attention of a big corporation like Microsoft. So it just stayed dead for weeks. And until somebody big starts knocking, there's no reason to bother looking at that, which is sad. But
very.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it feels like there needs to be a better way to report your issue, if you will.
You would think so, but that would require more AI chatbots? No. Humans!
Oh, God, no. Somewhere along the way, yeah.
Yeah, it would require human reviewers to see these things, but we would have to hire too many humans for that, Dan. We can't spend that amount of money on this kind of thing. But the thing that gets me is that it was listed in Google. Like, if the policy that was broken, as Microsoft said, they were violating policies designed to keep low-quality sites out of search results. If that was true, why did Google not delist them?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So some of the sites, they might be a little low quality. They're probably not wrong. However, the whole entire domain? The whole domain?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, because when you go to Neocities, the way that it works is like you choose a username, essentially, and that becomes your subdomain. So you are username.neocities.org, right? That's your website now. And but to your point, why wouldn't they just block that one?
The small thing, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, it just smacks of automated process that no one actually looked into. It's terrible.
Big corp taking you out. Yep.
Yeah. But I think, though, if you don't have a website and you were thinking about having a website, I think this is a good place to start because you get a little bit of web space. You get to do whatever you want to. But, within reason, there are rules. Even Neocities has policies, right?
Yeah, they're good.
But you get to spread your wings a little bit, and you get to taste a little bit of that early '90s kind of Wild West of the web kind of thing, and you get to experience so much. You get to experience guest books, and we talked about it a little bit before. You get to experience these counters, like how many people have shown up to your website. Like we used to track these kinds of things, right? There used to be a little JavaScript in the background keeping track, and the number would keep going up, and it's like likes nowadays. Right? Where people keep coming. This is great. I'm going to keep adding more stuff. And so it encouraged you to add more stuff, but it wasn't algorithm driven. That was, I think that's right. There's so much of that right now. And I'm waxing poetic about GeoCities because I imagine a day that we could have these things called web rings that we used to have. And when Dan and I were looking up different Neocities websites before we started in here, we found one that you click on the links link. Like, here are other links that you might like. And then it just, this wave of nostalgia hit, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this thing? Web rings. And it was...
Yeah, completely forgot, yeah.
It was a community of people that had websites that were similar to each other, that people that go to one website might find interesting things on the other websites. And so you would form up this web ring. And so it'd be different people with the same interests.
That's how you explored other things that were similar interests, yeah.
Exactly. And so that's the question nowadays. Like, people don't remember how the web used to work. So, how did we even find websites without an algorithm? How did we find websites without a Google search or a search engine or Alt-V? Web rings, my man. And it was not just web rings. It was this idea of surfing the internet.
Yes. You go where the wave takes you, and there you are.
It's such a different way to look at the internet because like, yeah, I guess you kind of get it with like TikTok and these other doom scrolly type
Yeah.
things where it's like, well, I'm going to show you this, I'm going to show you this,
Yeah,
and we're going to
maybe
kind
you
of
see a
hone
thing or
in.
two on Mastodon or Blue Sky or something, and that gets you
Right.
started on a path, but perhaps. But
anything with an algorithm will just pigeonhole you eventually,
Yeah.
and you're going to just see over and over and over and over and over the thing that the
same
algorithm
things,
knows that
yeah.
you like, so you don't leave the website. Oh my God, we can't have you leaving the website. We got to have monthly active users.
Right,
It's so
right.
terrible. But when you're surfing the web, the most off-the-wall junk comes at you, and you never know you would fall in love with a type of website on an algorithm these days, but you would be hit with this weird stuff, and you'd be
It's
like, oh
true
my God.
exploration. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love alien conspiracy theories. What? And and then you
Yeah,
fall
okay.
down this rabbit hole of figuring it all out, whatever it is. But it's stuff that you would never have gotten after 30
Right.
minutes of being involved with an algorithm, because it would never show you that, because you didn't show any interest in that. So you would leave the site if they thought that they would show you that. So it's just such a different take, and that's the answer to the question.
It was good times.
Yeah, what did you old people do back in the day before Google? It was this. It was absolutely this.
And another analogy that's also dated, it was like, TV of yesteryear. When you just, flip channels back, up and down. There was no guide or any of that stuff. You just
TV guide came
surfed.
later.
You did channel surfing, where you just,
yes.
if you didn't like this one, you hit the next button, and then you just did that until you finally found, the thing you liked, and it probably wasn't C-SPAN or anything like that, but that existed, and you flipped past it, so you knew it. You knew it existed.
Yep. Exactly. And that reminds me, so when we were talking about all of this, it reminded Dan of screensavers. And so we were talking a little bit. Yeah, because Linux Mint, you told me that Linux Mint is looking at adding a screensaver, because of course Linux Mint would do this.
They've obviously got a screensaver now, but it's only for X, right? And so
right.
Continuing on with the tradition, they want to be able to develop one for Wayland, because they are making progress at Wayland work and fixing bugs and whatnot. So
slowly,
they in their latest blog post, they said they were working on one that would work with both, which is kind of cool. And
that
Leo
is really cool.
had the brilliant plan of yesteryear, when he used to have the scrolling marquee type text thing that would flip around and whatnot, and he missed that in his screensaver.
Let me paint the picture for you, because it's a very special screensaver, and it's one that I'll never forget. Okay, now you have a cheat code. If you've ever played the game, it's an old game, I know. But if you ever played the game Qix, Qix, right? It was kind of a puzzle game where you had to draw squares and fill out the screen, and you had to fill out like 80% of the screen, and then you won. But your enemy was this, it was multiple lines. So it was essentially one line that was kind of twisting and turning, but it left a tail of the lines that it was before. So it would twist and turn, and then an image of those lines before would kind of trail behind it or whatever. So Microsoft Windows 95 or 98 used to have a screensaver that would have 2 or 3 of these things kind of doing the DVD thing. Another terrible old reference, I know. But the DVD thing where it would bounce off of the every corner of the screen, and so it would do that twisty-turny thing, and it would also do the RGB unicorn vomit thing before RGB became a thing or whatever.
There were worse colors than RGB. It was browns and stuff. Yeah. Yellow.
Oh, don't worry, Dan. Noctua still exists, and there's still that ugly brown. You got to pay extra if you want gray.
Yeah, I meant the lights. The lights, the light up part, right? Yeah,
oh, right.
We don't make those colors anymore.
No, you can get them, but it's a very specific setting on your LED, panel of 2700K, to get that yellow.
Right. Yeah.
And all your computer cases were that same yellow, that beige color. That's a very 90s color. But anyway, so I want that screensaver back. So this is me putting my wishes out to the internet. If you know of this screensaver, does this still exist? If it still exists, please point me in the direction of this screensaver. I love that screensaver. I need that screen.
I'll see what
we don't need screensavers. You don't need them.
I'll see what I can do. But here's the thing, and Mint's solving it for you. Most of them don't work on Wayland.
Right. And so I'm getting further away from what my dream. Like Wayland doesn't support a lot of screensaver stuff. So now it's even harder for me to find one. But if we can use Linux Mint's new screensaver libraries to then port over maybe this is just my job now. Maybe I need to make this screensaver.
Yeah. I think so.
Point is, though, LEDs, LCDs, OLEDs, all these types of screens, you don't need screensavers anymore. Yeah, no, they just turn off. Like, they just go black, and you don't need a screensaver anymore. You know why we needed screensavers? Oh, please, follow me again down another rabbit trail of just old stuff. We had CRTs.
That's cathode ray tubes for people that don't know.
Absolutely right. You'd never want to open these up and stick your hand in there because that's enough voltage to kill you. Yeah, it had to charge up. When you flip the switch, you could hear it hum. That's electricity, my friend. Don't touch. So these were these massive TV screens essentially, but they were some of the best screens that you could get your hands on. And Dan, you were talking about the multiple resolutions that they could do.
Oh, yeah. I had a big, giant 20-inch size thing, and it would do some pretty high-end resolutions, and it looked pretty good. But don't forget, also, the real estate wasn't the same either, because even though it was giant, it was 4:3 format instead of 16:9.
That's the true resolution.
Yeah, it was.
But don't forget, Dan, that behemoth of yours had to have weighed a human.
It was
150 or more pounds.
I wasn't that much, but it was a lot, and enough that you wanted two people to hoist it into place.
And it's like you need the mover belts, you know. You don't want to give yourself a hernia picking this thing up. I mean, serious business.
You could move it from one table to another table because you weren't bending or anything like that, and you didn't have to worry about throwing your back out. But you certainly didn't want to go far. Nope.
Yeah.
The other thing it did was it generated all sorts of heat, and all around, like off the front and off the top, and all of that. And you could warm a room with it, pretty much. And I'm sure the electricity consumption was through the roof.
Oh, yeah. All these kids talking about, my graphics card pumps out so much heat, it warms up my room. You have no idea. These monitors...
You need a monitor that does that, too.
Yeah, they were radiators by themselves, man. And then you had the computer that was generating all this heat, too. Oh, it was good times. But my favorite thing is that... the resolution, right? None of this idea of a non-native resolution. No. Oh, get out of here with that. You could do 640. Yeah, you did 640 by 480, 800 by 600, 1024 by 768. I still remember these. And 1600 by 1200. And I forget what goes after that because I never had one that went higher than 1600 by, well,
that's high enough.
it went higher, but I only had 17-inch screens at the time.
Yeah.
So if you went higher than that, it was real tiny. The text was so so think of for the people that have never seen a CRT or whatever, think of if you ran a 4K monitor, like a 28-inch, 24-inch 4K monitor at native resolution. The text is so tiny. Itty bitty. That's how going that high on those CRTs work. Because it was, small screens. The things were 90 pounds, but it was only 17 inches of screen real estate, right?
Yeah. So the big behemoth I had, I think it was 1600 by 1200 or whatever. Because it was big.
Yeah.
So you could get away with that, but you weren't going any higher than that, probably.
And you had so much room for activities because apps were meant for like 1024 by 768, like
Yeah, they were.
tiny resolution. So it made sense.
It was great.
Winamp, my favorite audio player still to this day, would fit into the corner of one of those screens, and you'd still have plenty of space to do anything else you wanted to do too. Oh man, it's so good.
Or you could turn on the visualizations and sit on the couch and watch it.
Oh yes. Oh, that was one of the coolest things about Winamp too. I forget what it was called, but I mean, you had these people creating these plugins as well as like these presets that would do the craziest visualization. Like you could just put that on a projector up on a screen and play some music and just have yourself a grand old time. I mean, that was the fact that you could do that on your own computer at home and you didn't need like specialized hardware. Like a computer's not specialized hardware, but you know, you just have that. You used to have to buy things to do that for you, but Winamp just was like, here, have it. We're an audio player, but also here, something off the wall for you. It was great.
Oh man, the good old times.
Yeah,
all of that stuff to say that we're old and we miss it.
It's true. And but you can have some of this. You can go back. You can't get a CRT monitor for free, but you can get a little slice of the internet over at neocities.org for free, and just do whatever you want to. Right? You can learn
and
JavaScript.
Poke around at some of those, and
I mean that was the thing, right? Like you went to those websites to create a website, to then learn all the tools that you need to create the website, and then you're like, oh, so I'm a low level web dev. Okay, that's cool. And then
kind of. Yeah.
And now folks my age are like actually doing that for work and stuff. And writing like front end code and stuff in React or whatever. Yeah. It's those same people. Yeah, those same people that added MIDI to their MySpace and people were wondering where the music came from. And they're like, well, how do you do that? Yeah. Thanks for that reference, Dave. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, you'd go. And anyway, I'll stop. I'm sorry. But all this to say,
no,
right?
You won't.
Neocities, go check that out. But Bing kind of sucks, which means that if Bing sucks, then it feeds down to DuckDuckGo, which means that in some cases, DuckDuckGo kind of sucks. So I wanted to bring this up and wrap this out, round it out with a question to Dan. Because of the Orion thing that we talked about in the last episode. So Orion is Kagi's new browser. It looks kind of like Safari. It's going to have all the extensions from Firefox and from Chrome, and you can just have whatever you want to. It's doing that on mobile too, so you'll be able to have all the extensions on mobile. Like, weird. Right. Something that iOS does not have, but it does now? That's cool.
Yeah.
So my question was, Dan, what do you think? Because I've never used it fully. I think you've never used it fully. What do you think about doing ourselves like a Kagi trial? So
I'll try it for a while. I mean, they have a free tier. I'll give it a whirl and kind of see how the searching goes, I guess.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What is your main search engine right now?
I use DuckDuckGo.
Okay, and so do I. All right, so we're coming from a very similar vantage point.
Yeah.
And then swapping over to Kagi, which is apparently, if the testimonials on the website are to be believed, if people on the internet are to be believed, Cory Doctorow also backs up Kagi. If all these people are to be believed, Kagi's a really good search engine that you must pay for.
Hearing too. Yeah.
Yeah, after the first 100 searches. So I'm willing to give them no money to try out the 100 searches.
Yeah, I'll go up to the 100 mark and see where, see what the results are.
If I really do think though, because it's like $5 or something for more, like 3 times.
It's not expensive, but I mean, I don't really want to do it if it's not good.
Right. And that's kind of my thing, right? I want to try this out to see if, I mean, Google's in a real bad way. This is the reason why I use DuckDuckGo. Like, if you use Google without an ad blocker, the first page is just ads.
Oh. Well, and don't even get me started on, like, start page, because, like, something that's not good either. That's equally bad with the sponsored ad stuff. It feels like.
Yeah, it used to be good. Like there used to not be much of that.
Yeah.
Like, but now they're starting to like. Why am I using Star Page again? Oh, just the tracking, but I get all the ads.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why you would have ads. This is exactly why Kagi charges.
I do too.
Right. They don't.
It's just I don't like it. It's gross when they mix them in to make it look like the actual search result.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to do an ad, just do an ad already. Please don't try to mix it in to make it look like a regular search result. I think that's gross.
Exactly. Yeah. So, speaking of hearkening back, you didn't think I was going to let you get away without another callback to, I don't know, when was it? Like 2001 or something like that. Old Google used to be, I mean, the reason Alta Vista doesn't exist, the reason Dogpile doesn't exist, the reason Yahoo Search doesn't exist, well, I guess it kind of does. The reason that all these other searches, meta searches, whatever searches, the reason that those do not exist anymore is because Google killed them. And back in the day,
yes, they did.
They didn't used to be ads. There didn't used to be none of this. It used to just be here. Boom.
It was
your
a
search term,
blank page. Yep.
I mean, it was wide enough with a CRT. I mean, it was like, it gave you sunburn looking at that CRT too long on that white page on Google. But like, it was, I mean, 99% of the time, it was the absolute best result for your search query every time. On top, number one. You didn't have to scroll. It was right there. That is what I am told.
Dogpile was pretty good when it was first, because it did all the search engines, right? That was kind of the great feature for that. But then that started to get kind of crummy because Google was the only one that had good search results. Yeah.
Yep. So Kagi is supposed to be, in some way, form, or fashion, like old Google. No ads, the best result on top. So I'm going to try it.
I'll give it a whirl.
It's free for the first 100. There's nothing to lose here. Once I'm out of my 100, maybe I'll swap back to DuckDuckGo until the next month or something like that. But for right now, I'm going to give it a go. $5 if you want to triple that, I think. And
I'm going to bet that's per machine and like cookies and all that stuff. So you could probably fake it to get more search results if you use multiple machines.
We'll check it out. Try. That's pretty cool.
See if we can game the system a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But I want to try it. Let's see how it goes. Old Google, here I come. Maybe we'll have some better search engines. And maybe we're going to come back in a few weeks and tell you this is the way to go. But if you use Kagi, well, maybe that is where we're destined here. But if you use Kagi, if you have any experience with it, let us know and let us know how you like it. Should we do this? I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway, but tell me why we shouldn't.
Right?
And we'll go from there. All right. Well, if you like watching our beautiful faces, you can catch them over at youtube.com/LinuxUserspace. Yeah, we're over there. You can watch all of the snippets of the show. So the entire show comes out with the podcast. But in the next week, we issue just the single topics that we talk about. Those also end up on TillVids. So if you're not a huge Google fan or a Yahoo, nobody's a Yahoo fan. Oh, God. If you're not a huge Google fan or YouTube fan, you can check out all the same videos over there on TillVids. We try to be respectful of the space over there because, you know, someone's got to pay for it. So we don't put the whole episode over there, but we do put the snippets over there. And if you like the content that we put out, if you like the stuff that we talk about, if you like going down memory lane like we did just a little while ago, then you can sign up over at our Patreon for $1, $3, $5, or $10. And you can also sign up for free. You don't have to give us any money. You can see all the announcements. Yeah, without paying a single dime. But if you like the stuff, if you want more, if you want access to, say, the Patreon user space where I'm adding all the links before the show as we're coming up to it, I've got screenshots that I put in there a little earlier today talking about the Orion web browser that I don't think that's public anywhere. I shared it with Dan and then I shared it with the patrons. And so if you want that kind of content, that's just $1. That'll get you into there. You'll also get the episode just a couple hours earlier than everybody else. $3 will get you high quality audio. $5 will get you behind the scenes content audio. And then $10 will get you a seat right here, right now, listening to us as we record this, all the flubs and flummoxes and all of the times that I get something wrong and have to go back and say it again or whatever. I'm leaving the Yahoo thing in there though. But so if you want access to that live, yeah, you should. If you want that live, $10 will get you back here backstage so you can see how the sausage is made. But anyway, most of that stuff, you don't got to pay a dime. If you want the extras, you can find it over at patreon.com/Linux user space.
All right, Leo, this next topic is kind of gross, and it's not, hear me out, it's not necessarily Linux. It's not necessarily open source, but I will tell you that there are many Linux and open source communities, including our own, that utilize this platform, and that's Discord. So Discord announced recently that they're going to do some age verification things that I will say don't seem super savory. Although their blog post makes it seem like it's on the up and up. And I don't know if that's hype or a reaction or from the community, because I can tell you many people are very upset, and a lot of them are canceling their Nitro, thing, or just leaving the platform altogether, because they want to get images and make sure you're of the right age to access certain things.
Before we get too far into this, if you looked at Roblox a few months ago and were like, oh, poor kids, they're now having to do this verification, they can't chat anymore. Well, it's your turn.
Akin. Yeah.
Yeah, This is exactly what's going on. So Discord is launching a teen setting or younger person setting where if the AI bot that has ingested all of your content or whatever decides that you are underage, then you're going to be stuck to not being able to toggle some of the toggles, not being able to join some more adult themed Discord channels, servers, whatever they're called. So you'll be restricted in a few different ways. It doesn't seem like those restrictions go too terribly far, but it's kind of keeping you out of the adult spaces, I guess, is really true, right? This is the testing your water phase. Is that the deal?
I maybe, I don't know. I'm cautious here because, honestly, what if it's just not PG-13 type talk, and not necessarily adult per se, but adult speak behind the scenes. So what if it's one of those places where that happens? How long until they crack down on that and stuff? I don't know.
So it looks like early March is when they're trying to roll this out,
which is real soon now.
Exactly. And the one thing I want to make clear is that it's not a Discord thing. It's entire internet, because governments around the world are enforcing these rules, and Discord is a global company, so they see the writing on the wall, so they're just going to get on the boat and start enforcing some of these things so that they don't end up fined in 8 different countries at the same time, So different states in the U.S. are doing this. Australia has already done this. I know that countries in Europe are already doing this. So it's coming, right?
And listen, I think some of that is fair, but the part that creeps me out a little bit is recently, and not even all that long ago, like November, September, somewhere in the fall, Discord had a breach where they leaked some things, and so that tells me that they're already not really handling some of this, PII type stuff.
Oh, don't worry, Dan. They promise. They promise they're gonna delete it immediately when you show them your face. They do the whole thing where they're like, you must open your mouth to prove you are not a picture. Oh my God, right? Like any sophisticated enough video is gonna be able to handle that. This is silly.
Yeah,
but I get it.
It is crazy.
It's theater.
Yeah, so I think I don't think this was actually part of the original blog post, but they did kind of put an addendum down at the bottom of the blog post, which we'll link in the show notes. It says it's a clarification on our approach to age assurance. So they talk about the things that you just said. Discord's not going to make everyone do this, apparently. I don't know if they have other mechanisms already to tell if you're adult age or not. I'm going to presume they do. If you're like a Nitro member, right? You've got a credit card on file, which usually is an indicator that you're adult age. So maybe they won't need that.
Yeah, that's how we're going to get away with this, I think, because we've given money to Discord. So yeah, I assume.
Yeah, they claim in bold here that the vast majority of the people can continue to use Discord exactly as they do today without ever being asked to confirm their age. So they're making it seem seamless.
I mean, yeah, until you're caught up in the dragnet that is terribly trained AI models guessing your age based on what you say. Sure. But if you are one of those unfortunate people that does get that did get caught up in that dragnet, don't worry. The facial scans will never leave your device. Yeah, I believed that their credit cards would never be leaked to a third-party hacking group. Yeah.
Of course not.
So, I mean, that is the problem with all of this. I mean, the governments across the world are doing this. This train is not going to go in reverse. It's going to continue to happen. If it's not happening in your area, it likely will within the next year or two. If it isn't already in the works, right? So there's no stopping this train. Well, okay, maybe there is, but it's not by protesting Discord. It's by petitioning your governments, right? So,
right, yeah.
But I don't know. People are not very happy doing that. So a lot of times that doesn't happen. So if this train is not going to go in reverse, what we're stuck with is like every company doing this their own way and being very, 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 very bad at it. And not only that, so it's already going to be bad, but then also they're going to, forget to delete, oh no, treasure trove of all of your personal identifiable information. Oh no!
It's crazy. So here's the kicker on that. Discord realized it was too big of a project for them to take on, so they actually got a third party involved here. And so, in addition to those things that you're saying, now we're relying on someone else that may or may not. They don't really have a vested interest. They don't care. So Discord only receives your age, apparently. That's it. Your identity is never associated with your account because it sits at the third party that's going to leak your stuff, probably.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Discord lost my data. Now a third party gets a chance to lose my data too. Oh, my favorite. It's my absolute favorite. But there's an answer to this, Dan. There's an answer to this, and it is, as unsavory as it may be, especially for these companies, it is forcing Google and Apple to do it on your behalf while remaining privacy. Google won't do it, but Apple might. And what I mean by this, right, is that your own device knows how old you are. There's no way it doesn't. It's got all your credit cards in it. It's got all your pictures in it. It's got all kinds of stuff. Remember that time Apple was about to do that CSAM look through all your photos thing with, I mean, they have the power to do this stuff.
In theory.
If Apple and Google could just sit there in between you and the app or whatever it is that you're getting into and just say, they are of age. We don't need to share age. We don't need to share ethnicity. We don't need to share gender. We don't need to share any of that. We just need to say, is this person of age? Apple says, yep. Boom, now you're in. Or, nope, sorry, maybe try again in a few weeks, whatever, right? Google's going to suck down all your information and use that for other nefarious means. But Apple might actually be able to pull this off in a semi-privacy respecting way. And
maybe
that's the play. That right there is the play. We've already given our lives to these devices. Let them make our online identities, keep them private, but give just that single drip of information. Are they of age? Can they proceed? Okay, cool. Move on. And I've heard one argument to this, the only argument I've ever heard, that this is going to be the absolute wrong way to do it. Because remember, we've already given our lives over to these things. Is that the people that haven't done that, right? The people that have never owned an Android or an Apple device that absolutely always use not jailbroken. What's the word?
They got a flip phone?
Well, did that too, right? But even then, even with the flip phone, you had to go get that somewhere, somehow, using an identification to a company that could then attest on your behalf generally how old you are. I'm just saying, these companies know this information already. We don't need to share it with every other company on the internet. And I think Apple and Google are well positioned to be that company for the vast majority of people. And so the people that don't have an Android or an Apple device, right? These are the ones that I hear, well, I mean, how am I going to be able to attest my age on the Discord platform or Roblox or whatever next company does this? And I think we could have, this is the barrier, right? Like, there needs to be a way for the third parties, like your Graphene OS and everybody else, to actually attest their age as well. But I think community projects require community solutions. And if this is something that the community is really pushing for, that you want to attest your age to these applications, then I mean, that I think is where you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to start funding projects that would be that would be big enough to then lobby on your behalf to say, we deserve
that's what it'll
to
take.
Let our users attest their age. So make us the third option, right? And I think that is the right play for everybody else that doesn't have an Apple or Android device or refuses to get an Apple or Android device. But Dan, you had to take that, blew my whole argument out of the water, though. So I didn't even need to make it. But
I mean, really, if you're, really big into the freedom and, say, open source type thing, are you really on Discord? Probably so not, true. Right? I mean, it's a proprietary platform. I mean, you got to conform to whatever standards they issue, and that's the reality of using those said platform. So there's alternatives, maybe not great alternatives sometimes, but there are things that can be utilized. And I guess that brings me to my question to the group here. We use Discord a lot in our small community here. Are we going to be able to maintain people? Are people going to stay? Should we? I mean, we have other alternatives already. So will they flee to those places? I don't know.
I think we're kind of in a unique position. I think actually one of the marks of being old is you've joined Linux user space.
That's fair.
That's one of Discord's metrics. Do you belong to a super nerdy
age verified Discord? You're in the
group. But we cover our bases, right? Like, we exist on the Fediverse. We exist in Matrix.
We do.
We exist on all of the other alternative places that you can be, that presumably they will be the last touched by this type
I would think so, yeah.
Legislation, right? So
the other takeaway on that is they aren't linked together right now. So if one blows up, the other one still exists.
Yeah.
And you could still have a good time over there. So I know that was a concern for some folks that had like, we'll say bridges or integrations.
Oh yeah.
How do those little bot things get, confirmed to be of appropriate age and whatnot. So
Yeah.
the whole identity behind them is a little concerning, perhaps, but there's just a lot of uncertainty surrounding this whole thing because not all the details are disclosed. Again, proprietary.
Well, I think that's just because the legislators don't know what they're legislating, right? This is just another case of you don't know what you're doing, but you're waving your flag and saying this is going to protect the children when it is trivial to fake one of these things out. To show, you need me to show my face? Well, here you go. Here's a screen that mirrors my face with a filter on it so that I open my mouth like you asked me to do, and bingo, bango, you're now in Discord and can get into the adult spaces. So, I mean, I understand the intention behind it, but using tech as a cudgel to try and force morality on things is not the right play. That's not where you do that. It's the easiest place to force to try and do that, but it's not how that ever works out.
Well, I get it. I'm a parent as well. My kids are older now, but still, it's a challenge to be able to monitor. But I think that's our responsibility as parents, is to be able to watch what our children do. I mean literally watch what they do. Yeah. Because that is the only way to make sure that the right thing is happening.
Yeah, I've watched so many videos I didn't want to watch. But, you get into it, right? And I think one of the coolest things about doing that, about watching that type of content with your kid, is that now you got a bunch of stuff to talk about. And, do you remember that one thing? So it's really cool. I mean, it keeps me steeped into that world. So, I knew about the 6-7 thing right as it was happening. You know what I mean? Like, so it keeps you on the forefront at the very least. And my secret sauce, when I'm tired of that, I just go full bore on it. Use it all the time. And all the kids that are around my house immediately hate it. It's a great way. It's a great way to stop the 6-7.
And that's how to get them off your lawn, huh?
That's exactly right, man. You get to bond over it. You get to squash it at the end as well.
Yeah. And I do get it's hard, right? Because they're not always in your eyesight, if you will.
It is.
But you got to try. I mean, I think teaching them some responsibility there is probably going to take you a lot further than the technology that is backing you up.
So catch these and other great topics as they unfold all over the place. The Lemmy, the subreddit, the news channel on Discord, whatever, wherever. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe you got to age verify before you can check out the news on Discord. I don't know. I guess we'll find out here in about a month. But we've also got the Mastodon. We've also got the Telegram and the Matrix. We were just talking about, actually, Dan, getting the old Twitch, the old dusty Twitch fired back up. Because
I know we need to do that. We have not done one of those in a while.
Yes. So I want to talk about this again in the next time, because not everybody listens back here to the essentially ad portion of the episode. But
they skip
if you're here, one of the things that I wanted to do on the old dusty Twitch was talk about Orion. So one of the things that Orion is not letting you do is have the Linux and Windows builds for free. That is, if you want the latest and greatest craziness, kind of like Elementary OS does, right? You need to support us, and that will help the development of those things, right? And I care about the Linux installation of Orion. I want to know if WebKit GTK, I think, if that is going to be a real contender on Linux. So much so, I'm gonna give these people $5. And one of the things that I want to do with that $5 is, of course, test out the Linux build, test out the Windows build, because I can already test out the Mac build, but do that on stream so that you don't have to spend the $5. So you can come hang out with us on the Twitch thing, watch us do the whole Orion, figure out what it does, figure out what the heck this whole extension thing is about, because you can do freaky fancy extension stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Honestly, that seems pretty neat.
That is crazy cool. So come hang out on the Twitch. We'll announce when we're going to do that, when it's going to be the Orion thing. Also want to do some of the Kagi searching on there. But anyway, so we'll do that on a live stream, and then we can wrap that up by really kind of coming out with our thoughts on the episode that follows that one.
Yep.
And of course, there's still accounts on Twitter. I mean, just the major announcements, really, like the show episodes and stuff. We don't really post anything else over there. Same with Threads. I'm trying to warm up the TikTok and the Reels thing, but again, just we're going to use those the same way we use YouTube, and just that's one of the places that you can go to see some of the stuff that we put out.
And we got the Blue Sky. Blue Sky's the other place.
I need to write it down. I will write it down one day.
We need to put it in here. We got to fix that template.
So anyway, check us out on the Blue Sky too. Pretty much, if we're out on if you just type in Linux user space, odds are you're going to find one of those places. And if you like those places, subscribe
Search it up
to us.
in Kagi. Tell us what the result is.
That's one thing we need to figure out. What does Linux user space bring up in Kagi? Does it bring us up? Are we number one? We need to work on that.
Boy, I hope
Search
so.
engine optimization. Maybe. Anyway, go find us on one of those places. We'll see you there.
All right, Leo, this is our last topic here for this episode. That is all the advancement that's happening in KDE Linux. So Nate Graham recently posted a blog post talking about how they've been super busy, and it's been in alpha stage since September, I think, was when they started alpha stage.
We talked about it early on.
KDE Linux, we did, yep. And so it's been some time since September, so they've made a bunch of advancements, and they say they're nearing beta stage, but not quite there yet.
I'm so excited for this.
Nate did outline a bunch of stuff that they've accomplished.
Yes. So if you remember a few episodes ago, we did this whole cosmic thing, kind of figuring out what this whole cosmic thing was about, seeing if the cosmic DE was good. We did that on a live stream. I think I want to do the same thing with KDE Linux here. And it's looking like we're getting to the point where, I mean, I don't know. It seems like maybe we go a little before the beta to kind of go from...
I think so. Like I'll admit, I did test it out a little bit, and I think it's further. I'm just saying, I think it's further along than alpha stage at this point. I do think it's really close to beta stage.
Good.
It's solid enough that you can make some good use of it. I'm not saying there's not bugs. I mean, there's bugs in beta release things too, and there's actually bugs in production release things. So
of course.
I'm not surprised by that. Right?
There's actually a bug flying around in my room. I think it's a moth.
Oh, that's awesome.
So speaking of bugs, but so we gave Cosmic a shake in alpha, and then we came back around again in beta. So to be fair, I think you did the right thing. So I need to follow your footsteps.
I think the
need
time
to
is
install.
now.
Yeah. KDE Linux, try it in alpha, see what's different in beta, and then, again, we can do those on the live streams and kind of just do the whole experience. But some of the things that I'm looking forward to and am kind of sad about, there are a few of these things. So number one, they killed the snap.
They're waving goodbye to the snap, because remember, this is an Arch-based thing, even though it's immutable, if you will, or composable, or whatever.
Like the Steam Deck?
Yep, it's a lot like the Steam Deck, which is kind of why it's architected that way. Anyway, to get Snap on that system, kind of the only way to do it is through the AUR. And so they've set a line in the sand saying, none of this, we'll say unstable outside third party, not too much of it, repository type things, right? They want
that's smart.
Vetted sources so that they can kind of curate the experience. Flatpaks are still a thing, obviously, but they're trying to keep it close to, not too many options.
Yeah, so Arch package is Flatpak, which means that it's easy to add
it's
it
in the
into
regular
the base image
repository. Yeah.
Exactly. There's no extra work. So Snap is an AUR thing, so it's going away. But that also means that Homebrew is going away.
Yep.
And this is something that I enjoy on Bluefin because there are a few applications that I like to get from there. F3 is one of those applications. I was able to get it through Homebrew on the Mac and through Homebrew on Bluefin. And it's I think it's actually in the regular repositories, but you can't do that in Bluefin, right? So so I was telling Dan before the show that I was having trouble with my SD card and I wanted to actually do a full scan essentially of, is my SD card broken? And F3 is I always forget what it stands for, but it's like find fake flash or something like that. But anyway, it's a way to test whether your flash has the correct amount of storage and whether that storage works or not. And so what it does is it writes a bunch of random data all across your SD card, and then it will go back and read that data all across your SD card, and it will say, yes, that data is 100% correct. That's exactly what I wrote to your SD card, giving you both answers, right? Like if it wasn't
size is correct and it worked.
Right. So if the card was giving you the wrong size, so it was like 128 gigs, but it was only like 16 gigs or whatever, it would like overwrite that data over and over and over again, and then the test would fail because it couldn't read all 128 gigs of the data. Anyway, so long story short, I'm sad about Homebrew because this is how I get a hold of these random little softwares that I find on GitHub, and it's just an easy way to just bloop, plop them right in. So
Homebrew is pretty great.
It is pretty great.
You do have the alternative, and the suggestion is DistroBox. You can still do that.
Yes, and that's how I'm going to deal with it. You get that in Bluefin too, but this is a good stand-in.
It's a little bit more involved as far as setup, but it's doable.
Yeah,
you install something like Box Buddy or something like that, and you can manage your DistroBox stuff, and it works okay. Yeah,
I imagine they're going to add something to handle all that for you. If there's not something in there already, there's got to be. I mean, if they're pushing you toward,
so I mean,
true, but if they're pushing you toward, like if you're doing command line-y stuff or whatever, toward DistroBox, and they've got to. They're going to add something to handle that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a fair point. Not yet. It's early days though, so we'll see. The other things they wiped out were Kate, Eliza, and IWD, and the Icon Explorer. I don't know what the Icon Explorer is exactly, other than it explores icons.
So the Icon Explorer was kind of cool because it was the way that you would like whenever you're adding like emblems to things. Isn't this thing like where you could go through and like look through every single icon on the entire system and then like tag with emblems with those icons on like your just to remember. I don't know if you had like 4 different icons. This is how you differentiate them from each other. I don't know, but I thought it was a cool tool. I guess you don't need it in the base system, and you can add it if you want. Yeah, but I don't know. That's pretty cool.
So, I mean, they have alternatives for all of those, I do believe. So, I mean, they're not really super necessary. So, that's probably why they kicked them to the curb.
Oh yeah, so Kate was one of those ones that I think they mentioned that they took it out because it was more of a power user tool, and power users are, I suppose, capable of putting Kate back into the system or something like that. Eliza, I get because it's just a media player, right? There's another media player on the system, and then IWD was there essentially to help people that needed it. So there's I think Network Manager, I think maybe handles all the networking stuff, and then IWD was there to handle like the off brand or offshoot type wireless things.
So the other thing they announced, you just said Kate, right? So the thing they have is Kwrite. Kwrite is the alternative. They have that installed in the base image already, so it's kind of not necessary, right? Use one or the other, and so Kwrite's the one they went with. That's fine.
And I think a lot of this is also about slimming down the system, right? So you don't have a massive update to do every time.
Yeah, so that was the thing that they did fix was the updating mechanism, and they went to Delta updates versus the whole entire system updating. When I first installed the alpha, that was all you got. You got, the whole entire thing, but it happens every single day. So
Oof.
you're downloading a 7 gig file plus every single day to do your updates. You could skip.
You're
a
not
day or
doing
two,
that on
but
a metered
you know-
connection. Ooh.
Oh goodness, no. So the Delta updates is very welcome addition here, so that you're just downloading the changes, and so it gets it down to 2 or maybe even 1 gig worth of updates, and it's a lot better, more palatable.
Yeah, so if you let it go really long, yeah, it can add up to the whole 7 gig all over again. But if you're updating every day, you're probably only pulling down, that gigish of whatever actually changed and nothing that didn't. So yeah, a welcome,
Right.
even for people with unlimited bandwidth and all the speed in the world. It still saves a whole lot of time in updating every single time you do it. If
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're Arch adjacent at all, you're out here hitting the update button every 38 seconds anyway.
Yeah. So they did add some things back in, and they are like KCalc. So you got a calculator, and they've got the QR code tool, QRCA cup, which is the backup tool used for backups.
Not a printer.
It's got, I think,
not a printer server.
No, not a printer server. KUP, not. Yeah.
Okay, it's KDE. Of course, it's K cup.
Mm-hmm. Cup. It's actually a pretty cool tool. I think it uses Borg on the back end is the backup, technology.
Is it
So it's kind of nice.
Is it K up or cup? I feel like K up is good because it's KDE's back up, K up. But I don't know. I mean, they would have probably
you
spelled
got
it
me on that one.
I feel like they would have spelled it differently, but cup, K up. I feel like K up is really, really where we need to be on that one.
Okay, that kind of makes sense now. Jeez, now I feel dumb.
Got it. Yes, I win.
And they added some CLI tools. So they did add some CLI tools back in, so that and one of them is your favorite too, by the way. So KDialog, L show, LS show, whatever we're calling that. CPU power, turbostat, plocate, Leo's favorite.
I had a whole entire rant about taking plocate away from me in the base Fedora images when they're making these immutable images. Plocate is no longer in there, meaning I can't use the locate command or the update db command when I get a bunch of new files, so I'm able to search them in the command line. Thank you, KDE Linux, for doing what was necessary and installing plocate in your base images, because it's just a really, really good tool. High five. Ka-chow.
It's pretty simple, pretty great. Yep. And FCF, which is a fuzzy finding tool.
Oh, yeah. See, okay. Maybe they're going to convince me to use FZF instead. Maybe so.
Yeah, it's a fuzzy finder. Yep, that's what it does.
Very cool. Okay, maybe they will convince me.
Those are some cool additions. It's pretty great stuff, and I'm excited to try this. Try this out a little bit. So I think this is the thing that's going to replace Cosmic for us. And we're gonna give it a spin, a long-term spin, and give it a whirl for a bit.
Yeah, because we've given Cosmic maybe a couple of months now. So I think it's KDE Linux's turn. They're getting closer to a beta.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be able to really kind of enjoy a lot of the things that they're fixing right now. And it gives us the opportunity to ask you listening, have you tried KDE Linux? And would you try KDE Linux with us to help probably fix a few bugs, but also let us know what you think, because I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. I think I like this.
I think so too. I'm pretty pumped.
And they have blur. It's already baked in. Plasma already does it. It's my
Plasma.
Favorite. Oh, of course it does it.
If you don't know this, you should. It is the bleeding edge of Plasma. It's right there. It's the best of the best. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, any cool new thing that you see. So over on the Lemmy, we post the all the KDE news every time it comes out, which is a slower cadence now because Nate is busy, but he's gotten some other people to help write about what all the happenings in the KDE
Well, they
stuff.
split it up a little bit too, so they've got the Plasma news, but they've also got the KDE apps news that it's coming out on a regular too. So not only do you get the Plasma stuff, you get the apps news too. So
exactly. So if you're paying attention to those things, if you're actually reading through those things, and you're like, "Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that." KDE Linux is the place. Yes, and I mean it's built by the KDE people. So you're getting the experience. This is what I was talking about with Cosmic. Like, this is why I like System 76's iteration of Cosmic, and not like Cosmic on Arch or Cosmic on the Immutables or whatever. I wanted System 76's Cosmic because that's the one, that's the blessed
the
one.
reference.
Yes. And this is the reference KDE Plasma, so that I know exactly what they intend with this change, with that change, whatever it is. I know exactly how it's supposed to feel. And then if it's a little off, or people take a different path on the other distributions that I try that may or may not have Plasma on them, I'll know, oh, that's a little different. Okay, oh, this is their opinion on how that should go. That's kind of cool.
Right.
But I just like having it straight from the developers. I think it's a really cool experience to see how they mean it to be.
Yeah. Lets you know what they're thinking.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try it because of that. So hopefully 1 or 2 or 100 of you come along with us on this journey and let us know how that goes.
So you can catch all the links at linuxuserspace.show, and you can email us and get your feedback in the show. Email contact@linuxuserspace.show, or there's a contact page. linuxuserspace.show/contact. That'll also get your comments into our inbox where we can talk about them.
That's right. And if you're looking for the links for this particular episode, you can always go to linuxuserspace.show/608. 8, right?
We're up to 8.
6.
Yeah, we are.
Woo, okay.
Next time, we'll have more discussion about topics, hopefully some of your feedback, and we'll let you know how we're progressing on our Kagi search, adventure, and perhaps at least let you know that we've started KDE Linux, testing that. Plus a few thoughts about all sorts of things.
That's right. And as well, stay tuned for any of the announcements that we're talking about. So it was up there in the ad type set. It's ads for us. It's not like we're giving you ads for beds. But up there, we talked about, if you skipped it, we talked about doing a few more live streams. On those live streams, we wanted to do the Orion kick the tires. So that browser that Kagi put out, that's the other thing. So we're trying all kinds of things. Trying the Kagi search. So that as we play around with that, we'll bring that to the show. The Orion thing, we want to do that on a live stream so you can kind of see how we're kicking the tires on that. And same with KDE Linux. I want to do that, give it the same kind of treatment that we gave to Cosmic, do that on a live stream as well. And so if you're following along with those live streams, you're going to know that following episode is going to be the one where we talk about that particular topic. So this is definitely some next time stuff to stay tuned for. We got this might just be the rest of the season. This might be what we do. But you got to stick around to figure out if that's actually the case. That's right.
And you give us your feedback about the experience that you're having as if you are testing those things, and let us know in places like Mastodon and Telegram, Matrix, I suppose Discord too.
And give your face to Discord, because why not?
Sure. Anyway, all the links and show notes on linuxuserspace.show. So, Leo, where can we catch you in between places?
You can always find me at Leo Chavez at mastodon.social. Also, leochavez.org. I don't know. Just Leo Chavez. You'll find me. I'm out there. What about you?
You can find me at KC2BZ at mastodon.social or monetaryabyss.social on Blue Sky.
And the show you can find at linuxuserspace at mastodon.social and linuxuserspace.show for all the rest of the things until, I'm going to hold you to it, Dan, until we have that open source Linktree thingy that we may or may not get in 2027. Look at that. I gave you the runway. You have a whole year.
Wow, that's a lot of runway. I think I can get it done before that. Yes! Anyway, see you in a couple of weeks. Bye, y'all.
Bye. When you get time, let me know what you think about Kagi. And the big question I have, because I have a feeling I'm gonna, do you use the 100 before the month rolls over? When I think
and can we stretch it to other devices?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can we cheese it a little bit? Can we get 150?
Right.
But I think about it, dude. I search stuff every day.
I know.
So,
you don't even realize how many searches you do. There's no way.
So that's 30 a month easy. And that's just one search a day. There's no way I just do one search a day. So I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna be done with 100 in a week. But maybe not. Maybe I don't do as many searches as I think. I'm just overthinking it. But I guess we'll see. But oh man, 100 just doesn't seem like a whole lot. I may end up having to give these guys $5. If the quality is what people say it is,